car shopping now? Who's car shopping? Type me in the comments if you're car shopping now or in the next 6 months. The reason why I say that is because oftentimes we wait till the last minute to car shop. We don't realize how that hurts us. We don't want to continually shop every single time we shop. It's an emergency. You lose the ability to see the deals change from month to month. You lose the ability to see used car trends, used cars drop in value, go up in value. You lose the ability to really position yourself for a great deal because you wait till the last minute. So what we teach at Cars from Home is to be in the market 3 to 6 months early. Do your equity assessment. Some of you have equity in your cars. If you have equity in your cars, then that positions you to make a move anytime you want. So you want to go call your bank, and this is for those of you who have a payoff or a lease. Call your bank, find out what the payoff is, and then go to get your 6 cash offers, because we don't trade cars. CarMax Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. That's step 2 of the Cars from Home process. Go find out what your equity position is. Some of you are in leases right now. You have 3 months left, 6 months left. You may run, I like to tell you, run your equity when you have 6 months left. You may have not known you can sell a lease. You just found out one thing you didn't know. That's again, this is called car buying mistakes. So you're going to hear a lot of mistakes that you've made that have already cost you thousands of dollars. And the goal is for you to stop making those mistakes now so that we can get all the money. I need you to know all the money, all the hidden money in car deals. What's up, Ross the Boss? Good to see you, Daniel. Good to see you, Brian. So this entire show is sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated already. You can Google it. Thank you for those of you who've taken the time to rate it on Goodreads. And that book has helped like so many people. I get these emails every single week of people who are using the book and saving thousands of dollars. Marie saved $13,000. Now that book's $97, but we have a welcome offer where you can get it for $24. You head to my TikTok bio. You only got a little while to do it, 2 hours. Go to my TikTok bio and get your copy. It's a 7-step formula. You won't pay $97. You'll pay $24. And you can be like Marie. You can be like so many other people. They're saving $5,000, $10,000 off of a $24 book. And I love it because it just makes the value. I'm all about value. So we have another link for you guys in the comment section on YouTube, in the comment section on Facebook, and in my bio on Instagram. Go get your copy. And so start typing your questions, everyone. We're going to try to get through as many questions as we can. Let me just share this on my Facebook page so we can get. All right. I see you, Daniel. I see your question. Dolan, let's get to Daniel's question on TikTok. We already got questions coming in. And then as questions come in on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we'll start pulling those into the show. Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you, Kayla Brown. Good to see you, David Poe. I don't want to butcher your name, so I won't even try. But let me just share this. And all right. And just give me about 10 seconds and we'll start answering some questions. So while I'm doing this, you guys could be typing your questions so that by the time I'm done sharing, and those of you who are the sharers, shout out to the sharers. You share it with a friend as well while I share these on my other pages. Thank you so much for those of you who help us get this message out. We can't do this without you. Harry Cousins, good to see you checking in. Good to see you, Jill Rivas, checking in on Facebook. All right. Okay, let's go, Dolan. All right. I need a new vehicle, but I'm upside down and I want to trade. Okay, pay no attention to the question from Nikki asking if you have gap insurance, okay? Nikki, we're not promoting insurance fraud here, okay? What oftentimes when you're upside down, This is, first of all, just so you know, that the reason you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. It's that simple. Some of you may know who's the first. I know, Nikki. I know you're just kidding. So am I. That's a running joke with people. Hey, well, hey, listen, grab the keys, parking on the Verrazano Bridge. You got gap insurance. So no, I understand totally. So, some of you may know if you're first time here, you've never been on a show with us, you've never been on car buying mistakes. Just type the number 1. So we can give a shout out to everybody. We can know. I want to know who I'm talking to because we got people here like Nikki. We got some regulars that check in and they kind of know a lot of the cars from home systems that we teach. But if you're a first timer here, we don't want to assume. Southern Creole, good to see you. Rachel, let me hop on Instagram so I can give some shout outs to Instagram. So the reason why you're upside down is because you don't understand leasing. So leasing is made for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. And the only way you're going to avoid this negative equity is to is to put tons of money down, $10,000, $15,000 down, or take very short-term loans, 3-4 year loans, which you're not going to get that money back. You're going to pay all of this money. And then when you go, you probably just end up, whatever little equity you have, if you have it, you end up trading it. I know you're not leasing. I'm telling you why I'm going to give you the direction to get out of the negative equity. But if you don't know what's causing it, you're just going to go back into it because you're going to end up buying another car, taking another 5-6 year loan out, try to replace that car, putting little money down, and then replacing that car in another 3 years, and you're just going to have more negative equity. And again, I'm telling you what most people will tell you. They'll tell you you have negative equity because you're not putting a lot of money down. Well, put 20% down, you won't have negative equity. All right, so I put 20% down. What happens to my 20%? What happens to my $7,000 that I put down? Oh, well, you won't get that back, but at least you won't have negative equity. Okay, so I get nothing back. Well, yeah, but at least you don't have negative equity. Okay, not doing that. And then they'll tell you, we'll take a 4-year loan instead of a 5 or 6 year loan. So then it's like, okay, so you're telling me to put more money into the car. That's the solution. Instead of a $500 payment, take a 3-year loan for a $800 payment. Hey, I'm not taking anybody live on the show. So let's just ask your question, but I'm not bringing anybody live on the show. I keep getting this request on TikTok. So what you want to do is you want to now, and you're going to love this because not only are you going to be able to drive very nice cars, you don't keep them clearly. You might be buying them used or new, but this is going to be way better. You want to now get your equity assessment done. This is step 2 of our process. Call your bank, find out exactly what you owe. Never take a dealer's word for what your car is worth. That's only one buyer. You want to go to CarMax, write these down. For those of you who have my book, you don't need to write these down because it's right there in step 2. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. You want to get these 5 offers. Thank you to everybody double tapping the screen on TikTok. I appreciate y'all running the likes up. Every time you hear something you like, you want to show love, just hit the like button. It matters. It boosts the algorithm, tells everybody, hey, they need to get over here because there's people getting ripped out here with cars. And if they're not here, they're not going to learn these mistakes. So you want to get that. You want to get those offers. Once you get those offers, that's going to tell you what your car is really worth from the highest bidder. Everything with Cars from Home is a bid. Everything. That's how we have guarantees. The reason why you don't have any guarantees when you leave the dealership with a car is because you have not gotten any bids. So we're going to change that today. Now, what you want to do now is ask yourself, very important question, Daniel. How many years are you keeping the next car? Shout out to Southern Creole. Shout out to people it's your first time on the show. We appreciate you. And we see all your questions. My man Dolan's going to pull them in. We're going to line them up. And we'll answer as many questions as we can over the next hour and 15 minutes. How many years? I want everybody who's shopping in the next 6 months. How many years are you going to keep the next car? Throw numbers out. I want you to think about this. Some of you may know. Years. Daniel, how many years? All right, Charles Lowe, I see you. 3. Nikki, 3. Trisha, 3. Southern Creole, 6 to 8. All leasers. All leasers. Now, out of you who all put 3 to 6 to 8, tell me, I'm not asking about mileage. That does not matter. I'm asking about years. I'm not asking to put a lot of miles. I put a lot of miles on my car due to my job sales. In 2 years, I put 100,000 miles. Okay. Even more reason why you can't buy your cars. Take out loans, because here's your car's value, Daniel. And anyone who's a high mileage driver like you, here's your car's value. Boom. That thing's dropping through the ground like a boulder in the water. Here's your loan. So your car is like this, but your loan's going down like this. Which is why when you look up, you have huge amounts of negative equity. Your loan's not moving compared to the depreciation of your car. So we're not talking about paying cars off. I want y'all to stay with me. Leave all of the crap out the door. I don't want your strategy. Just tell me your goal. When you come to Cars from Home, do not bring your strategies here. I'm here to tell you, if we were sitting here face to face, it wouldn't take me more than about 5 minutes to tell you that's never a strategy I would do. Tell me what you're trying to achieve, and let me tell you the absolute best way to get there based on 14 years experience, based on seeing thousands of transactions. Okay? So your question, the first question I just asked everyone, and I want you to keep answering that. How many years are you keeping the next car? That is the most important question in your car buying journey, because now we're trying to see how we're going to beat depreciation. It's not the payments killing you, Daniel. It's the depreciation of the car. It's the fact that, hey, I bought a car, it was worth 30. I put 100,000 miles on it in 2 years. Now it's worth 5. You follow me? It's not the payments you can't afford. It's the depreciation. We call this the unseen expense. Remember that. The unseen expense, depreciation. It comes back. Whoa, what's going on? I got 15,000 negative equity. Yeah, car's depreciated. So here's what we have to consider. We don't want to, first person I ever saw with a high mileage lease. I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. It was a highway dealership. I did not last there. I literally told them after 6 weeks, no, here you go. I gave them the keys back to their demo because I was a manager. They gave me a demo. And I said, nope. Somebody in here is going to jail. I didn't say that, but I knew that. And the general manager ended up being indicted. They just ran the place like your worst highway dealership. Fights, people doing drugs in the back. It was horrible. 6 weeks. But I learned a very valuable lesson. Guy comes in, he's returning his lease. I see it has 72,000 miles on it. I said, so wait, hold on. You leased this? He said, yeah, I always lease. He said, I used to buy my cars. I'll always have tons of negative equity. Now I'm saying to myself, I know, because there's tons of clients, tons of customers. By that time, I had already been in the business for probably 6 years, 7 years. I'm like, yeah, I see tons of high mileage people coming, but I never thought of a high mileage lease. He said, no. And when I saw his payment, I said to him, whoa, this payment is only like $170, $175 more than a normal good deal on a lease. Pay attention. It's 3 prices you can pay on every car. Most of you are only used to market value and above market value. You're not used to below market value. You're not used to, y'all look at these commercials and be like, well, they said I could lease that car for $490, but I got to put $3,000 down plus tax. And no, those are not deals. So I see that, let's say a good deal on a Hyundai Sonata at that time was like $300, $325. He's only paying like $550, he's only paying like $175 more, and he gets to drive 25,000 miles a year. So I said, okay, that stuck with me because he doesn't have negative equity. $150, $175 more per month. He's driving a brand new car. He drops it off after 3 years. He does it again, over and over again. Now, in your particular case, let's say you had a 25,000 mile a year lease. Now, in my book, I have a strategy, short-term strategy for two short-term strategies for high mileage drivers. One is the high mileage lease, which I just laid out for you. You cannot do that until you shop and get your below market deals first. You can't go into a dealership and say, hey, work me up a high mileage lease. You something. Who knows about the 80%? If you know about the 80%, type the number 80. If you don't, type a question mark. Maybe we'll talk about that before the end of the show. You can't walk into dealers. 80% of them are overpriced. I said, all right, thank you, Trisha. 80% are overpriced of any brand. So when you get your offers, you cannot walk into a dealership. Now, that's one strategy, high mileage lease. That's great for people who are driving from 20 to 25,000 miles, 18 to 25,000 miles a year, even potentially 30. But in your particular case, you're putting, almost 50,000 miles a year on the car. So what you should do is look at the strategy I call 2 cars, 1 payment. So you need to get one car that is the longest lasting car, very inexpensive. What I mean, look at like a Honda. For example, a Honda Civic, Honda Accord, Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry. Something that is proven to go. You change the oil, you do the maintenance, that thing will go. Now, what I would do is I go and I get the Toyota. I do a short-term loan, shortest loan possible that you can afford, because you don't want to think, oh, I can get away with this because I'm just gonna take a $500, $600 payment or a $400 payment. It's coming back to bite you. So you want to get the highest payment you could afford, take a short loan, because what you want to do is pay that car off, and then you go and you lease something for 25,000 miles a year. So let's say I get the Toyota brand new. And quite honestly, if you're doing this many miles, you should have money. I wish a company would tell me to do 50,000 miles a year and I'm not making money. So let's preface that. Those who are on the road 25,000 miles a year, you should be making money. Daniel, you 50,000 miles a year on the road, you should have some money. And that should be a part of what I'm telling you shouldn't be. Well, Deshone, I need to be at a $400 payment. And you drive 50,000 miles a year? What are you doing for a living? So the key is to mitigate the amount of money, to lower the amount of money coming out of your house and prevent these huge negative equity carryovers where you're carrying over 15 grand negative equity and you're carrying it over and putting it on top of whatever car you buy. So whatever car you buy, you're not just paying for that car, you're paying for the car you brought over, that negative equity. You're paying for your old car in your new car. We need to stop that. We need to stop that. So now what I would do now is I would look at, because you have a huge amount of negative equity, I look at a lease on an electric car, something that I could do incredible. Some of these leases on electric cars, you cannot imagine. I got people writing me and posting in our group, in our private group, the leases they're getting on these electric cars. And I gotta label these correctly so I can pull one up, because I got a bunch of people who send me deals, bunch of our members, but they're not labeled. But I've seen leases that are 0.88%, 0.7%. So I think I don't know if it was the Nissan Leaf. I want to say 2 months ago, they were doing leases on those. If you knew how to shop, you could get them for, it was like something stupid like $100 and something a month. That's a car. I go get 2 of them. I do 2 high mileage leases. You get what I'm saying? If I'm you, I'm like, all right, let me lease 2 of these cars. I'm gonna drive electric, because I guarantee you're obviously spending a ton of money on gas. I would get 2 electric cars, lease them both 25,000 miles a year, electric. But again, you got to learn how to shop, because you're going to go into the dealership. You're going to be like, Deshone, the prices that you're talking about are not the prices they're telling me. Exactly. Because everyone who's using our system, when you look at Ken, look at Alex, look at the percentages they're getting on these leases. Look at Courtney. Well, she just got 5,500, almost 5,700 off of her new Honda Pilot. And this is from home. Look, I told you about Marie, 13,000 off. Guys, I want to be very clear with you. If you go out here and you try to get the prices that you see me sharing from my people who are using the Cars from Home system, you're not going to do it. So I'm telling you, you can try calling around. I tell you that all the time. You know my two favorite words, multiple offers. You want to call around? Do it that way. Deshone, I called 10 dealerships, man. I spoke to the manager. Hey, I spoke to the salesman. I didn't go in there, and I found out all of those dealers had different prices. I ended up closing my deal with the best one. He was $7,000 less than everyone else. You want to do it that way? God bless you. I'm going to clap it up for you. Great job. You want to do it our way, where we don't talk to dealerships? We do everything by email? Great. But if you're not going to get the prices you can get. You're not going to see how much money has been hidden from you until you start getting multiple offers. So that's a couple ways I would go with it, Daniel. I'm either doing some high mileage leases on electric cars, or I'll do a high mileage lease on an electric car. Like literally, I'll be shopping multiple electric cars and just seeing the best offer, who's going to give me the best lease. I kid you not, one of our clients who, like, we were shopping for him for a Cadillac Escalade, like $130,000, like a premium one. And he has inventory for his rental car business. And he's like, hey, I found this deal they're doing on these Nissan. I think it was a Nissan electric. And he's getting multiple offers. He knows how to call around. He's an aggressive guy. He doesn't have a problem with confrontation. And so he's like, I got these things for $100 a month, 10,000 miles a year. So you can get out of that negative equity, roll it over to one of these cars, but get your equity assessment done first. So these are specialized things. I have all of this stuff in my book. I don't think that that's not a normal thing. I don't want any of you thinking, oh man, my situation is so rare. No one's in my situation. No, probably about 100,000 people in the country are in your situation right now. So don't think, oh, Deshone, what about me? Is there anything for me? This thing's so predictable. So, if you want to ask some follow-up questions, Daniel, feel free to. All right, let's move on. Dolan, a couple more questions. Let's roll. I know we got a lot of them coming in. This is our Monday, May 19th, car buying questions and mistakes live. We do these from 12 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So, how do I shop for a used truck? So the first thing you want to do is get your, first step is how many years you keeping it. I do not recommend buying for those of you who are not keeping cars 8 years. That's step one of our process. It's called the 8-year rule. It's called the 8-year rule. It is costing you so much money because you're not taking into account depreciation when you get these cars. So let's just assume you're like, Deshone, I'm going to keep this car at least 10 years. Wonderful. Let's move on to step two. Step two would be, let's assess our equity. What's your replacement car? Oftentimes you are going to wait till you find the car you want to even think about the car you have. We don't do that. We need to take an assessment of our asset we have. We have a car. It's worth something. It's either going to be a positive equity position or a negative equity position. In the case of a lease, it can't be a negative equity position. It can only be a positive equity position. But we're going to assess our equity because we don't want to wait till we find the car, find a great deal on it, and now we come and bring our old car to the table and the old car ruins the deal because we don't have any idea what this old car is worth relative to what we owe on it. So you do your equity assessment second. Now we get into our budget. This is step three. How much can we afford? Are you paying cash for the car? It's easier for you to understand what you can afford. For those of you who are financing, in my book, I have a calculator that we created. It's a Cars from Home calculator. We have 5 of them in my book, custom calculators. You put how much, because what happened when I was in dealerships 14 years, some of you know that. Mercedes 5 years, General Motors 5 years, ran my own brokerage for 4 years, been in and around the auto industry since 2006. People would come up to me and be like, Deshone, well, I could put $4,000 down, but if I don't have to, I'd rather not. Okay, that's the same way I would approach it. Hey, if I got 5,000, I got 2,000, I got 10,000. But if I don't have to put it down, then I'm not. So we need to have a calculator that would tell us, well, if we don't put money down, here's how much we could afford. If we put money down, here's how much we could afford then. If we take a 6-year loan, here's how much we could afford. And this factors in your taxes and fees, which oftentimes these calculators don't do online. So we need to know how much car we could afford. But let's just say you're like, hey, I'm thinking, you make up a number, which is what most people do. I think I could afford like 30,000. Okay. So now we're going to go to the marketplaces. Southern Creole, how do you get the book? It's in my TikTok bio. Normally $97. It's a digital book too, so you don't have to wait for it to come to the mail. It'll be in your inbox by the time we're done with the show. And if you get there, click that link that says welcome offer for Cars from Home digital book. And you'll see it's a $24 special, 75% off. Grab it. Come on back to the show. Same thing on Instagram. It's a link in my bio. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, it is in the comments section, deshonesbook.com. Okay, digital book. Everything we're talking about, you won't even have to remember it. It's in there. It's a blueprint. So then we move to the marketplaces. So now we know well, actually, first we go to step 4, which is shopping, not buying. This is choosing what we want, because I'm going to tell y'all what's happening right now. They're making cars that are bad cars. A couple manufacturers are making cars that are bad cars. I don't know if they're making them too fast. I have no idea what's going on. But problem cars. And they've been doing that since the pandemic. You got to remember, cars during the pandemic, what did we see happening during the pandemic? Limited inventory. Y'all remember it was an issue with parts? Who remembers that? Who was in the market, or who was even paying attention during the pandemic? Remember all the cars that were, thank you, Charles Lowe. Got the number 2 gifted badge. Appreciate you. Thank you, Karen Dennis, sharing alive. Appreciate you so much. Thank you to everybody running the likes up on TikTok. All y'all do is keep tapping the screen. You'll notice those likes keep flying up. I appreciate you. But who remembers that? We watched this happening. Sneaker Con, I see you. Good to see you, Brenda Abraham. Bought a car, I hate it. All right, we'll talk about that. Remember Brenda Abraham's question on Instagram, Dolan. But let's stay on this right now. So there's cars out here that some of you are going to look at as pre-owned cars. And those cars had reliability issues back when they made them in 2021, 2022, 2023, all through the pandemic, because they were making cars on the fly without having everything they needed. How do we find out? Simple. In my book, I teach you how to go to Google. You type in the year of the car, reliability. Read what it says. Skim the first couple pages. This takes 5 minutes, because our entire process takes 90 minutes, 2 hours. So everything I'm telling y'all is like things I would tell you if we were on the phone. Hey, do this, call me back. Go to this website, call me back. Check this out, call me back. Tell me what you said. Oh, Deshone, I see this car has less than normal, says less than average reliability. Okay. Many of you, who's bought a car 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later, issues with the car? And if you're new here, the way we win here is by being honest. Because everything I'm telling you relates to a new car, relates to a used car, relates to a lease. So if you're not getting something out of what we're talking about, it's you. I don't know if you're cooking, eating, you got music playing in the back and you're trying to hear us talk this money at the same time. If you're not getting anything out of this right now, you need to focus. Okay, because I've had people lease brand new cars in the shop in 3 months. Buy brand new cars, 6 months. Yo, it's in the shop. Used cars, of course. So how do we prevent that? We take 5 minutes We skim reliability ratings. We skim initial quality ratings. We skim longevity ratings. And how do we do that? Type in the year, make, model, reliability into Google. Year, make, model, longevity into Google. If you're buying. No one should be, the reason you are getting jammed up is because you are skipping critical steps you would not skip if you were buying a house. You are coasting over important steps that you would never coast over if you were buying any large purchase. You never coast over them. So we're going to Google. We're going to find out, does this car, some of you are looking at used cars. You're like, okay, it has 65,000 miles. I think that's good. You type in longevity, you're going to see these cars typically have transmission issues at 80 to 100,000 miles. Who thinks that's important? Who understands that if you're looking at a used car with 65,000 miles and the data says about 80 to 100,000 miles, you can expect some transmission issues. Type a dollar sign if you understand how critical it is to know. But you know, some people was just going to buy the car. And then 25,000 miles later, oh, transmission slipping. They sold me a bad car. No, they didn't. That is built into the car's DNA. So the reason why we have an incredible process, the reason why our clients who use cars from home are people who use my book, everyone who you see that I share on these streams, we're not focused only on the short term. 3 years down the road, we're still winning. You didn't win if you bought a car, got a great price on it, phenomenal. And then a year later, the car is breaking down because you didn't check reliability. So once we do that, I'm walking you through our 7-step. This is our literally, as you're reading my book, you're going to be like, whoa, this is exactly what Deshone said, step by step, because we're not winging this. We don't wing the car buying process. It is a process for us. It is a scientific process. It's not an art, it's a science. You do this, do this, do this, do this. You take the best steps of protecting yourself, getting the best prices. So then we move to the marketplaces. And everything that I just told you, and I'm on step 5 right now, everything I just told you takes about 30 minutes. From deciding whether I'm going to buy or lease, am I keeping the car 8 years, doing my equity assessment, that's going to take me about 20 minutes, doing my budget with the perfect budget calculator. I'm not getting a pre-approval. You can ask me why later. We don't get pre-approvals and let people run our credit with a hard pull before early in this process. So use the perfect budget calculator. That's going to take me about 3 minutes. Do my initial quality longevity check to make sure I'm not buying a car that has bad DNA. 10 minutes. What are we up to so far? See, the first time you use the process, you're like, it's not going to be that quick. It's going to be like, okay. But the second time, okay. Third time, boom, boom. By the time you're getting into your third car for your child or for your spouse, it's like, boom, boom, boom. I know these steps. The steps are not going to change. So everything I just said, we're about 30 minutes in. Critical, important things. Now we come to the marketplaces. We open up CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, not AutoNation, not for marketplaces. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Car Gurus. Should be writing these down. Unless you have my book, you don't have to write them down. All of these marketplaces have different inventory, and sometimes you'll see a car. I remember I was shopping for my Infinity truck, and it was first I thought I was going to get the QX50, and I remember seeing a car that was $36,000, and then I saw it on another marketplace, and it was $34,000. Now it wasn't a scam. Oh, Deshone, is that a scam? No, it's not a scam. On this marketplace, the updates take longer. So when the dealer sends out a price change, lower the price $2,000. This marketplace, it might take them 12 hours to do that. This marketplace, it doesn't. we update quicker. Who understands why you need to have multiple marketplaces open? See, everything we do is for a reason. So now we're going through the process. You look, you see, wait, let's go back. We got Car Gurus, Cars.com, Auto Trader, and Carfax.com. So we open up these marketplaces. We put in our price range. I like to start 100 miles out, and I like to start as new as possible. Let your budget dictate you can't get a 3-year-old. Don't just go back and start looking for a 5-year-old one. See if there's anything in the 3-year range. Does anything in the 3-year range fall in my budget? But here's our goal. With these steps, and 45 million of you are going to buy used cars this year. So there's more people who are going to buy used cars than are going to buy new and lease. So our goal when we open up the marketplaces is not to buy something at that minute. The goal is to see the market and determine, again, in my book, you're going to see, we need to know what is the low side of the market and what's the high side. What's the low side of the market? So you open you open all the marketplaces up. You put in your filters. You put in your criteria. What we do is we create accounts on every marketplace so that when new inventory pops up, we get a notification right then and there. Because if you're competing against someone like me or someone who learns from me or who's using cars from home, you can't compete. I'm going to tell you why. And you're going to eventually be here. When you start using this and believing what I'm telling you, you're going to see why. You're going to be, when you know the market, you're getting inventory alerts. New car pops up. You see it. Most people are going to hesitate. They're going to be like, wow, $28,700. You think that's a good price? They don't know the market. When we open it, we look, when I was shopping for this Infiniti truck, I saw it at the low side of the market, $30,000 up to $40,000. So I'm looking for anything popping up close to $30,000, $31,000. Now what you're going to see is you're going to get a lot of cars with bad Carfax, a lot of cars with accidents, cars with no service records, red flag. We do not buy cars with no service records. If you can't see the service records on the Carfax from a car, I exit out. You can do what you want to do. I teach you to X that car out. You cannot be surprised when the car breaks down when you looked at that Carfax, you saw it has 60,000 miles, 30,000 miles, 2 services, 1 oil change. Can't be surprised when you have issues. We want to see religious services. So, but the thing is, once you're looking at the low side of the market, you'll see, oh man, Deshone taught me how to, I can see the low side. The low side's coming in. You're looking for the frame damage cars. All of that, when you're opening Carfaxes up, frame damage, structural damage, salvage title. Now you know you're looking at the low side of the market, low prices. So you're going to come up a little bit because you're going to realize, all right, all the low stuff is in that, like, it's giving me that. That's good. So let's say those cars, those salvage cars and all of that is coming in around 18, 19. You might say, all right, 20 is where I think good quality is. Now I want you to pay attention to this. Again, all in my book. See, and if y'all like, some people like, yo, man, this is a serious process. It's the second most expensive purchase most people are going to make. If we were sitting here talking about house buying and we were laying out step by step how to make sure you get the best deal on the house and never buy a money pit, it wouldn't be a problem. So understand, everything we're talking about is 5,000 to 7,000 or more per car that people are losing not doing these things. So I'm walking you through our process of how we get pre-owned cars. Shout out to the sharers. I see a lot of sharers on the show today. Thank you so much. We're live. This is our Monday, May, what is it, 19th? 19th show. We're live every Monday through Thursday from 12 to 1:30. Feel free to bring a friend. And we replay this show. For those of you who may have missed the first couple minutes, we'll replay the show throughout the rest of the day so you can catch the rest. So now, when you see those, let's say some of you, you're like, man, all right, Deshone, I'm shopping for a black or white truck. Remember, we're trying to see what's the low side of the market. So let's say the low side of the market is 20, 21. You see the salvage cars and the frame damage and the bad Carfaxes, their accidents, they're all like 18. You know, let's say you get an alert. You see a car for 20. Now that's immediately. I want you to look at any car. Do not put a color in to your filters. When you're looking at used cars, do not filter by color. I'm going to tell you why. You put in black or white, you're not going to get the whole market, even though you're looking for black or white. So let's say I'm looking for black or white. I get an alert, $20,000 car, low side of the market. Price is great. Okay. Now you're also, when you're doing this, you're going to assume, oh, this probably has a bad Carfax. Oh, it probably has this. No problem. It's also not my color. Open it up. Check the Carfax. Oh, good Carfax. Good service records. But it's blue. Not my color. That just showed you what the low side of the market is. That just showed you. Even though that's not my color, I know there's a car out there that's letting me know 20,000 is attainable. So just because you don't see, and this is why I tell you guys, you want to be in the market 3 months early. I teach you how to be in the market 3 to 6 months early so that you can watch these trends. Be at home, position, getting alerts. Because one day you're going to see a black one. Oh, black. Oh, this thing's 20,900. You check, clean Carfax, great service records. Now we verify fees because there's a tactic that the 80% do. Understand, the 80% are 80% of dealers in this country, new and used, that are scammers. They're going to do smoke and mirrors. Our mission is to identify them from home, not to be in the dealership and be like, oh man, Deshone the Auto Advisor told me about you. You're an 80% dealer. Well, you must have not listened to him because he told you not to be in here figuring out we're 80% dealer. He told you be at home. So now we verifying fees from home. All right, I see here, hey, I'm calling, can I speak to the sales manager? Hey, I see that you have this car here, you're asking this. Hey, are there any fees besides, what are the fees you charge? Tax, documentation, DMV, that's all we charge. All right, and all right, I'm on my way. Lock the car up. Because you got to understand, we don't wait on deals. Deals don't wait on us. When I was in the dealership, I cannot tell you how many times I am talking to a customer and I'm like, listen, Mr. James, like you really don't understand the deal you're getting here. We know that this is the lowest price car within 100 miles because we use a tool called Kelly's V Auto. It'll tell us where our car is priced in the market. Customers like, The problem is, that's what most of you would do if you're not going to do what I've been laying out for you over the next 15 minutes. You're going to hesitate because you don't know the market. If he knew the market, like you're going to know the market when you use cars from home, you're going to be like, okay, I know that when I drive to this dealership, now here's what we do. We always ask for about $1,500 to $1,000 to $1,500 off when we get there. We test drive it. We make sure it hasn't been smoked in. You got to do that before you get there. Who's ever saw a car online? You get to the dealership, you find out, you say, car smells like smoke. Who's had that happen? Type the smoke emoji if you're on your phone. Who's had that happen? Saw the car, got there, man, car's been smoked in. You find that out before you get there. That's what we do. So when 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 from now on, you understand, Macho Ren. Thank you for checking in on YouTube. I see you. 99 times out of 100, if I am in my car driving to a dealership for a pre-owned car using our tactics, if someone who is using cars from home is getting in their car to drive 45 minutes, to drive an hour and a half, to drive they know I'm buying this car because they have the information to move. They have the information to not hesitate. That's where I want you to be at. So you ask, hey, I'm shopping for a used truck. How do I do it? That is literally up to step 5 of how we shop for pre-owned trucks. I didn't mention the fact we have to get the brand new price because that's all that matters in terms of a discount. I'll end with that. It does not matter what they're asking for the used car. What matters is what is the discount from the original price. Everything else is fake. Thank you, Marcella. It's good to see you on Facebook checking in. Everything else is fake. When you hear a dealership say, we're asking $24,500 for this used car, we're asking $29,288 for this used car, how do we know that's a good price? We don't. There's no way to know unless you want to start comparing it to other cars. And here's where you'll go wrong with that. You start comparing it to other cars and you don't realize each of those cars has a different original price. Example, when I bought my Infiniti truck, it was 3 years old at the time. I had 4 options. I'm looking at 4 options from $30,000 to $32,000, $31,800. Now, the one I bought ended up being the most expensive out of the 4. $30,000 to $32,000. That's what I'm looking at. 3 years old. Now, when I look at them, the one I bought had 26,000 miles. The other one probably had, I think, like 28, 32, 34. So it had the lowest mileage, but it was the highest asking price. So some of you, before you start doing what we're going to have you doing, would have just bought the one that said, hey, let me get the one for $30,000. Let me get the one, Deshone, if it's 4 of them, they all look similar, man, get the lowest price one, right? Who would have did that? You're looking at 4 trucks online, 4 cars online, they look identical. They range in price from $2,000 to, their $2,000 swing. Who would have just bought the one that was the least expensive, right? Thank you, Gam Make. I'm sorry, I just butchered your name. Macho Ren, yep, me. Thank you for being honest. That's what most people would have did. That would have been a huge mistake. You're never going to do that again. So I pulled the Carfax. I get the original MSRPs of the trucks. I see that one of them is $46,000 brand new. One of them's $48,000 brand new. One of them is $52,000 brand new. One of them is $54,000 brand new. So now, somebody's horn is going off. So now I have a calculator. It's called the True Value Discount Calculator. I put the asking price in with the original MSRP. It says this one has a 30% discount from the original price. This one has a 34% discount. This one has a 36% discount. And the one I ended up getting, which was the most expensive one at $31,800, had a 42% discount. It had more stuff inside than the other cars. So it's a better value, better deal. Better deal. So this is all of the other stuff doesn't matter. So this is the type of stuff that's just really going over our used car strategy and how we win with used cars. Why don't our people have buyer's remorse? Why aren't our people getting cars that they're regretting? Why aren't our people getting cars that they're driving home and the car breaking down in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Because there's a process. And you'll have all our processes, not just for used cars, but for below market leases, below market purchases. It's all in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97, but as part of our welcome offer, you can get your copy for $24, 75% off, but it's only for the next 2 hours. And if you visited the website and that timer started, once that timer hits 0, price goes back up to $97. And it's worth every penny. I didn't price it at $97 saying, oh, no one's going to buy it. We've sold hundreds, if not thousands of books at $97. So $97 is value, But I'd rather you get yours for our welcome offer at 75% off. So head to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. Click that link we have there for you. Go grab your copy. It'll be in your inbox by the time you get off the show. You'll have everything. So you'll have a tool belt. Your husband needs a lease. It's in there. Below market leases, not these stuff prices everyone else is paying. New car. You're buying a new car. Oh, you're buying a pre-owned car for your child. All in there. High mileage driver. Your cousin's a high mileage driver. Come here. Let me help you with this. All in there. All right. So go grab your copy. Come on back to the show. All right, Dolan. Let's go. Next one. That boy Drewski, thank you. You got the number 1 or number 3 gifter badge. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's supporting the show. Thank you to everybody who's tapping the screen, running those likes up. Bought a car. I hate it. I want to trade. I'm still under 5K miles. How can I trade without being upside down? Cars are not made to be they're not made to be traded without losing money. So let's just say, for example, you had paid cash. You never be discussing this. How much is the car? Just purchase the book. Thank you, Charles. Use it. Enjoy. TLJ. It is in my Instagram bio. There's a link there. Click that link and then just click that blue button that says welcome special, $24. How many years? I had asked this young lady a question. So let's just say, for example, and this is why, listen, I feel for you. I don't like the fact you're saying you hate the car. That sucks to have purchased the car and then be hating it. But I need you to realize that if you're going to get out of it, you are going to bite a bullet. That means it's going to be pain. Now, I'd rather you understand the pain, not like, okay, just get me in a new car. I don't care. Get me out of this thing. I don't want to know, like some people do. So if you understand the numbers, then you won't get buried again. Because quite honestly, the reason you're in a car that you hate is because somewhere along the car shopping process, you went in saying, all right, listen, I don't really need to test drive it. All right, nope, I don't need to drive it for a long time. Oh, I don't need to make sure that it is going to be exactly what I want. I don't need to make sure that it's going to do what I need it to do. And this is the result of that. So a car that, let's say you bought for $30,000. The minute you drive off the lot, it's worth $25,000. Welcome, Lauren Payton. Thank you. Welcome to the community. New people on TikTok checking in. It's worth $25,000. You've lost 15% the day you buy it. If you came back 3 days later and said, all right, listen, hey, can you buy this car back from me? There's another owner on record. You've lost 15% minimum. New cars, you're going to lose probably 25%. And depending on how good the deals are that you didn't get, like say, for example, let's take somebody like Marie. I like to use Marie because she's an example of a dramatic discount. So she uses the book. She gets her 2025 GLC coupe, fully loaded. She gets $13,000 off the price. Let's say she was to come back later, a month later. You know what? I hate the car. What can you give me for it? Well, she's going to lose because the market value is going to go down. But because she got the bottom, she got a below market offer, she's not going to lose as much. Now, let's just say another person who has no skills or who's just a regular negotiator, they get $5,000 off the GLC, $3,000. They think they're doing good. Now they come back and they say, hey, I want to get rid of this. What can you buy? What could you buy it back for? They're 7,000 or 10,000 poorer than Marie is. So in order for you to not lose big, you need to be able to you need to get these deals for below market value. You need to get these deals because some of these cars, guys, you can save $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 off of them. So if you're only saving 2,000, 3,000, you're coming back and you're like, dag, I'm skewed because the price you paid is so high. The dealers know that the market for this car is 10,000 off, 12,000 off. But we got this woman to pay, we only gave her 2,000 off. So if she ever comes back to trade it, she doesn't realize you're going to lose so much because you overpaid to begin with. So the key is, I cannot stress this enough, making sure when we sign those deals, we are not leaving in a car unless we guarantee we got a below market offer. That is you'll notice I'm going to keep beating these words into your subconscious so that when next time you sign a deal, if you didn't listen to what we're saying, you're going to be like, oh, is this a below market deal? No, it isn't. Okay, maybe that'll stop you and say, you know what? I need to really think about this. Let me go home. No, wait, what do you mean? Hey, listen, hey, what if we get, hey, listen, we want you to take it today and all of that. You know what? If you don't know for a fact you got a below market offer, you should not be signing that deal. So now let's get back to the real. If you were paying cash and you were seeing how much the car would be worth, first thing you need to do is assess your equity. And I'm going to tell you something that might help you, but I want you to hold out for this. Okay? And this is to you guys who may be in a similar position to this young lady from Instagram. It's going to require a little patience, but it may work out in your favor here. I want you to assess your equity now, call your bank, get the exact payoff. And then I want you to go to those 6 websites. If you throw in We Buy Any Car, you can throw in you can have another 7th website: Carvana, CarMax, Driveway, KBB, Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. We Buy Any Car, that's the 7th. We're getting a bid. This is a bidding process. You're not going to have any guarantees, below market deals, forget about them unless you're bidding. If people are not making bids for your business, you're not getting below market deals. They're just fooling you into thinking you are. Below market deals come from competition. It's a competition. Competition. So when you have all of these cash buyers who are like, hey, I'll pay you this for the car, I'll pay you this for the car, I'll pay you this for the car. Now you're able to see exactly what your car is worth. All right, perfect. Thank you, Renee Patricia. Good to see you. Got the number 2 gifted badge. Thank you so much. Y'all lighting TikTok up today. I appreciate it. Now, you assess your equity. How much upside down am I? Now, you need to take that and be sober with it. Like, all right, I owe 30,000. They're offering me 22. That means I have $8,000 of negative equity. My highest bid is 22, but I owe 30,000. And you need to sit and chill, because if these tariffs come, here's what's going to happen. The prices of new cars are going to go up. And when the prices of new cars go up, the only way, and I was saying this back 4 years ago, when the pandemic first started, I said, guys, these prices that they're selling you these cars for because you're not shopping, the 80% are charging you prices that are not sustainable. You're going to be $20,000 upside down, $25,000 upside down when the market returns to normal. Because what they were telling you is this is the new normal. This is the new normal. It's like real estate. Everything's gone up in value. Sure. And I was shouting from the hills that these cars are not going to retain this value, because the only way that the cars that you can pay 5, 7, 10,000 more because of a temporary situation is if all the prices go up and they stay there permanently. But we knew this was a supply chain issue. This was a microchip issue. And we knew once the cars got the chips and the production went back to normal, here we go. Prices are back down again. And you paid up here and you're stuck up there when the market is back down here. So we're potentially going to see the same thing happen, but the difference is they will stay up there most likely. If the tariffs stay forever, they'll stay up there. which means the new car market is higher, 25% higher. It's not going to affect us leasing that much. It'll affect some, but those of you who haven't started leasing yet, I mean, you are literally late to the party. But you run your numbers now when the tariffs hit. And maybe you see, oh man, my car when I ran it back in May was $8,000 difference. Now it's only $3,000 difference. You might want to hold out a little longer. Let the market keep going up. Let the demand keep going to used cars. And next thing you know, the prices that was, you probably see that your car is $7,000, $8,000 higher than what it normally would have been worth. That's going to be a good situation. So as this happens, we'll continually tell people, because that is really when we were having that happen, we had people selling their leases for $7,000, driving them. I sold my lease, drove it for 3 years, 39 months, sold it, made $9,000, $9,100. My mother drove her Mazda CX-5, 3 years, lease was over, sold it, made $10,200. She's a low mileage driver. Car only had like 18,000 miles, but it had gone up. It was literally worth $10,000 more than what it would have normally been worth, or 8,000 more. So those of you who haven't learned about leasing yet, late to the party. Those of you who haven't learned about selling leases, late to the party. You haven't learned about selling cars that you still owe money on. You think you had to wait for the title before you can go sell it, late to the party. All of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can grab your copy. It's in my TikTok bio. Click that link. In my Instagram bio, click that link. Click the button that says $24, and it's for 2 hours. So if you went there already and you saw the timer, you might be at like 90 minutes left. Once it hits 0, offer's over. It goes back to $97. So if you miss it, it's still worth $97, because one tactic is going to pay for the book times 10. One, there's nothing in that book that's worth $100. My free Carfax strategy that I share in the book. Be like, man, Deshone, I used that strategy. I saved $99 just on Carfaxes. So go, and for those of you watching on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, it's in the comment section. We have a link for you, and Facebook, we have a link for you. Go grab your copy. Make sure when you get it, you screenshot the thank you page. So just in case it's not in your inbox, you might have typed your email wrong. Any problems, you'll have my support team's email. And then come on back, type the word book. And for those of you who have the book, type the word book. And after you grab your copy, type the word book. And I love to shout out people that got the book. So anyway, go ahead. Oh, the Gen Generation got my book. I'm in the process of looking for a vehicle. This is right on time. Amen. I'm so glad to hear that. Just use it. Stay on your steps. It's a checklist, Jen. Don't worry. It's not a Bible. You don't have to read it all. You know, it's literally do step 1, check it off. Next, step 2, check it off. Step 7, I'm congratulating you and we're setting up delivery or your pickup. Okay? Yours truly. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Use the book, and please make sure you send me your emails. Like I just got this one. Successful acquisition of, hold on. I want to pull the one up with the picture. There we go. I just got this one. Successful acquisition 2025 Mazda CX-90S Turbo Premium Plus Hybrid. I saw the specific 2025 Mazda CX-90S Premium Plus Hybrid with precise trim, exterior and interior color specifications. Only one such vehicle existed in Georgia. After soliciting quotes from all Georgia Mazda dealerships, I show you how to get contact 25 dealers in 20 minutes. For those of you who are shopping for a new car or a lease, new car or lease, I already laid out our pre-owned strategy. Like that was probably the first time we ever did that, Dolan, really laid out the pre-owned strategy step by step. But for those of you who are shopping a new car or a lease, this is the strategy we use. It's called the 25 to 5. I show you how to connect with 25 dealers. I have my email scripts in there. All you're doing is copying and pasting, having all conversations. You're not making up anything. You don't have to, what am I going to say? Oh, Deshone, I got to remember this stuff. Nope, it's copying and pasting. So if you can use a computer, you can use that. So he reaches out. Let's continue with Ken's story. He said, after soliciting quotes from all Georgia Mazda dealerships without initially specifying color preferences, a bidding war ensued. I love those two words. Between the dealership possessing the exact vehicle and another offering the desired trim but a different color scheme. Leveraging the Cars from Home counter offer system, which is one of those custom calculators. We have a calculator that I wrote the code for, and it's not. You put all your offers you get into the calculator. It tells you this one's the best. Counter offer at these numbers. So the dealership with the alternative color offered to beat any written offer. The final acquisition resulted in a 1.25% lease agreement, 0 down payment, 36-month term, 12,000 miles allowance, all taxes and fees included, plus the first month's payment covered by the dealership. The MSRP was $60,000. Wow. Yielding a payment of $760, no money down. Now, for those of you who know our rule of financing, how much would a $60,000? Remember, he put no money into this deal, not a dime. The dealership even covered the first payment that won the bid. How much would a $60,000 car cost if we financed it with no money down? Throw some numbers out there. Some of you guys know our rule. Can I sell my lease? I have the lease from Navy Federal Credit Union. You can sell any lease if it has equity. Not every lease has equity. Thank you, yours truly, 1200. Thank you, K Camp 414, 1200. Because you got to realize this person's obviously shopping for a vehicle that he said it's a specialized vehicle. I know what I want. It's a premium plus S turbo. It's not a Toyota Corolla. It's not a Toyota, nothing against Toyota Corollas. This is a $60,000 vehicle he's shopping for. It's not a $300 payment. Some of you who are like, Deshone, my payments are always there. Okay, deduct your down payment. I cannot tell you how many of you are getting your down payments. You're not even factoring that into your actual cost. There are people who will say, well, my car payment's only $450. That's what I like my payments to be. How much did you put down? Oh, yep, I know that face. I think I put down like 10,000. No, you didn't. You probably put down like 13. Yeah, when I look at the paperwork, because I've had people come into the dealer, I'm trying to talk to them about these things, and they're like, okay, well, this, and I'm like, you have your paperwork with you? I look at the paperwork. Oh, you actually put down. They'll say, oh, I did no money down, or I did a little, I think I did like 3,000. Hey, actually you did like 7,500. Oh, that's right. That's right. People forget their down payment like that. They don't even factor that in. So if we were to back out the down payment and compare apples to apples, we would see $1,200 is what he would have been paying versus $760 for this $60,000 car. And he does it from home. Sits at home where nobody can walk into his house. No dealership, no salesperson can walk in and say, hey, get off that computer and get on into the dealership where we could charge you more money. Stop talking to all of those other dealers. Stop making us compete against our competition. Get on in, come on in and let us show you this sale we're having this weekend. Don't you know, didn't you see the commercial? We got all types of sales coming. We need you in here to see them. Yeah, sure, not coming in. That's why it's called Cars from Home. All right, so shout out to Ken. All right, Dolan, next question. Let's keep them going. We got time for a couple more questions. Let's go. Do you pay the acquisition fee on the lease? All our fees. This is how we shop our leases. Boy wonder. Okay. Again, this is templates. So in my book and in our shop with Deshone, any of our we use templates. 12,000 miles per year. First month's payment due at signing. Taxes and fees in the payment. We tell them assume tier 1. Now, on top of that, in our template, we have what we do for a living. They need that to give us an offer. See, some of you, you're like, Deshone, I tried shopping online. Man, it was difficult. I couldn't really get offers. You don't realize you're not. The reason we have templates that you fill in is because we know what dealers need to even give you an offer. We know what they don't need. So they might tell you, oh, we need your credit. No, they don't. We'll assume tier 1. But we need to know the vehicles that are in your household. We need to know if you're military. We need to know what your affiliations are, what programs are, what your professions are. In our template, we fill in the deadline. See, nothing's left to chance. I told you at the beginning of the show, don't bring me your strategy. Just bring your goal. I'm going to help you lay out the I'll lay out the strategy because you don't get why. Oh, why is this process, the Cars from Home process, so much more effective? It's because I'm from the inside. I'm not you. So let's start there. I can't come into your job you've been in for 20 years, that you've mastered. You've been in every position. And I could say, how do you make this thing run like this? It's hard for me. Yeah. So we created a McDonald's system that creates the results because we know you're not giving the dealerships what they need to even give you an offer. And then we also realize that it's about multiple offers because 8 out of 10 of them are overpriced. 8 out of 10 dealers, it's going to shock you. You'll never walk into another dealer again for a price. Once you use what we're telling you, you will never walk in. You'll see how dangerous it is. You will see how dangerous it is. I'm going to show you something that to really hammer home. This is one of our clients that we shop for, because some of you know we do shop for clients. We have a particular division that shops for clients. New cars and leases only. FICO score is over 680. You can see here. Now, this is a low price car. It's a Subaru. We created a bid for this client. We can see the cars were priced 28, 27, 30, 29, 29. Now, some of these dealers, when we shop these cars, we're doing all-in offers, taxes, fees, everything. This is not a lease. This was a client that's purchasing. And we can see here that one dealer gave pretty much no discount. Looks like about 500, 1,000. That was their best offer. We can see the second one that's not highlighted, 27,000. 30,009 is the all-in price, so they pretty much gave no discount. That's their best offer, maybe $500 off. Very small offers because most of you don't expect big discounts off of these inexpensive cars. So, this one dealer here looks like they have a fake fee. They got $4,000 with taxes and fees. 26,000 is the MSRP. 30,000 is the out the door price. This dealer here, the 27,797. They gave us, looks like, one of the best discounts. No, maybe the next best discount. These two here are kind of low, but they're not low. They're probably 1,200 off, something like that, 1,500 off. Now here comes the winner, highlighted in green, 3,900 off. They needed the bid. Now we're not going back to them in 3 years if they want another car from them. We're not going back. We don't keep a list of, hey, you won the bid back in May. We'll see you again. And whenever we need a car from that client in that area, we'll call you first. No, they needed a car that day. That salesman needed the deal. That dealership needed the deal. They went deep. They won the bid. They're not going to win the bid every single time. So, but look at how most of these dealers, if you're walking into them, you're never you can't identify a needle in the haystack. You can't say, oh, there's 25 Subaru dealers in Florida. I think I'm just going to walk into this one, and I think this is going to be the 20% that Deshone talks about. No, you have much more likelihood for them to walk in, and not only are they not the 20%, they don't even have the car. You notice there are people on this list that didn't have the car. They didn't have a match. So you're walking into a dealership, oh, no, we don't have it. We could get one for you. Are they a dealer that's going to win the bid and they're trying to get the car for you? Now you walk into another dealer, 80% dealer. All right, yeah, we'll give you 1,000 off, just as a courtesy. This is how most people buy. We got our deal done before you even get home from the dealership. The time it takes you to be in a dealership, 7-8 hours, we already got multiple bids coming in. So it's a different world. So to your question, Boy Wonder, I answered your question before I even got into this. You use that format, and that's how you get the deals done. You don't, that's how you shop your lease offers. We build in fees into the payments. You know, I answered that. But then I went on to another subject concerning why you can't just tell them this. You got to give them the rest of the information that they need to shop the deals so that you can get multiple offers. So, all right, Dolan, let's go. Keep it moving. For those of you who don't want to remember this, you're like, Deshone, I've been on the show for a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Man, give me the blueprint. Just give me the step-by-step. That's my new digital book. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it. Thank you to everyone who's reviewed it on Goodreads. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's our entire blueprint for below market leases, below market purchases, below market new cars, used cars, high mileage driving, below market high mileage driving deals. For those of you who have bad credit, we have below market bad credit strategies. The only thing you should be overpaying for, or not even overpaying for, paying more for if you have bad credit, is your loan. Many of you with bad credit, you're overpaying for the loan and the car. You're overpaying for the loan and the car, and you're getting a car that is not a quality car. Like, you let bad credit make you ruin your whole, you just leave with desperate. Like, anything you can put me in. I don't care if the car is not what I want. I don't care how much you're charging me for it. Can you get me to $450 a month? That is you understand that is not wise. And hopefully you're looking for a better way, because you understand, like, you're going in there with your eyes closed. And then the thing about you guys with bad credit, and I want to be clear on this, you tell all your friends with bad credit about the person who robbed you. You literally, anyone who could get you approved, that's why they tell you. I had a guy, my neighbor, he said, hey, aren't you in the car business? I said, yeah, yes and no. He said, well, listen, I got this deal over here at Acura. Anybody you know, any credit score, tell me, I'll send them there, get them done. I said, okay, all right, listen, I'll keep that in mind. I would never have somebody shop like that. He said, listen, anybody you send, $1,000. So that's how much money is being made on people with bad credit. There's a lot of money being made on people with no matter what. 5-7 grand on most people is being made. Bad credit, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 they're making on you. If they can pay me, the referrer, all I did was, hey, here's John Spencer. Give him a call. All right. This guy who doesn't even work for Acura, he does not even work for Acura. He's a middleman. Takes John Spencer's deal to Acura. Hey, we got John Spencer in the car. Where should I send you $1,000? So how much is he making? Y'all understand? Type dollar signs, type sad faces. If you got the emoji, type sad faces. You got to understand, I'm not inviting you guys here on a Monday at 5 on the 19th of May to talk to you about hundreds of dollars. Who cares about hundreds of dollars? Maybe some of you, I'm not going to be insensitive. You're like, Deshone, $100 matters to me. We are talking about $5,000 mistakes, $8,000 mistakes you are making. I have to shock you, and then you hold me to it. If the book doesn't deliver, you just write me an email. Hey, Deshone, you know what? You were talking all these big numbers. You were saying like I was missing thousands of dollars. You were saying like I was really leaving thousands of dollars on the table. But you know what? I read the whole book. I used what you taught me. And I was only missing like probably a couple hundred. Never got one email like that in 3 years. Because once you get into it, you'll realize. And in fact, let me read the end of Ken's email that he wrote. Said the Cars from Home system facilitated the acquisition of the desired vehicle at optimal terms. I highly recommend this approach. If you are not using the Cars from Home system, capital letters, you are getting played. Sincerely, Ken. All right, the Gen Generation on YouTube. Good to see you. When negotiating on a used car, is it fair to start 15% below asking price? No, that's not the way we buy used cars. You are not going to see. The thing is, this is what we call, when you're not getting bids, what you're doing is you're feeling for the bottom. I laid out the strategy of exactly how we identify the low side of the market, which means when I was looking at my Infinity truck, I told you, I narrowed it down to the top 4. There were tons of cars that were higher, 33, 34, 35. I'm not even looking at those. Those are the cars that have $5,000, $7,000 room to move. Maybe they probably are not going to move because they're going to make $5,000 or they won't sell a car. If they can't make $7,000, they're not going to sell a vehicle. I'm not even looking at the higher price used cars because I know that the dealers who sell the best price used cars, they want volume. Volume. It's 2 types of dealers, 80% and 20%. 20% say, you know what? Let's price our car like we want to be the top 5 best price in the market. Move it. We want the car out of here in 72 hours or less. 80% will say, all right, price the car, mark it up $8,000. We don't care if we got to hold on to it for 2 months. Eventually, somebody will come in. We'll probably take off $2,000 for them, $3,000. All right. So I can't negotiate with a volume dealer. You're gonna look and say, man, but hold on, why you not? You literally find the best price online. You've been watching the market like I laid out for you the first 15, 20 minutes of the show. You get the alert. This car is the best price. Oh, good Carfax, great service records. You call, there's no fees. You pull up the new window sticker. Oh, huge discount from the original price. Man, let me get out here. You get out there, you say, hey, all right, now take another 15% off and we got a deal. They're going to say, what, you didn't do your research? Now, if you sit there like other people who are not researched, all right, well, I feel like, though, if I can't get money off, though, that got to be something everybody gives money off. You didn't do your research? All right, let me print a report out for you. Here's a report. This is our car, and within 100 miles, we're the number 2 price, we're the number 1 price. Yeah, man, but I know you still got room. All right, listen, sir, appreciate you coming in. And you lost the deal. You lost the deal. I said when we get to the dealership, we ask for $1,500 off, and that's it. On a used car, when I drove there, I said, look, $1,500 off. They gave me another $800 off. I test drove the car. I said, listen, but here's the thing. Even if when we make counter offers, because we know the market, and you will know the market, so you're not making blind counter offers to feel for the bottom. I'm just feeling for the bottom. You are already know I'm dealing with the best price person. I got all the information. It's come right to me. So now you get there and you're like, all right, listen, I test drove it. I like it. Nice car. You could do $1,500 off additional. I'll take it right now. I won't take it right now. We never take it right now. But we'll make the deal. I'll leave a deposit. I just got to go check with my bank, see what their rates are. We got a deal. They're going to say one of 3 things. Most likely they're going to say, listen, I'm going to be honest with you, because they don't know who you are. So they're just going to look at you like this guy, unfortunately, or this woman, she doesn't know what she's doing. So let me try to educate her. We actually priced this car to sell. And if you're really using what we're talking about, you're going to see the car hasn't even been there long. Because sometimes you're getting alerts. You pop up, you get the alert, you come there, and you're like, hey, I'm the first one here on this car. Before people even know this car has hit the market, I'm about to take this thing off the market. So they're going to be like, listen, I respect the offer. We priced this car to sell. It's the lowest price car in the market, in which case, they're being honest. You're right. I know it is. But, we price it. It's a fair price. It's a great price, and, you know, we can't get you to see that. Understood. Oh, no problem. I'll take it. And it's going to shock them because you're going to be like, oh, wait, that was a bluff. Yes, it was a bluff. I had to see, because we never accept an offer before we find out if this is your best offer. So I have to ask for $1,500 off. Now, sometimes I say, listen, I'll be honest with you, like they did with me. You know, car hasn't been here long. You know, we got it priced to sell. I'll meet you halfway. You know, and that's what I say. I'll do $800. No problem. I'll take it. And sometime in rare cases where they just want to move the car, they're like, all right, listen, I'll take it. But that's rare. I'll take the $1,500. We can make the deal. But either way, when you're an educated buyer that knows the market, I'm not driving to a used car dealership or a dealership that has a used car hoping if they give me $1,500 off or another $2,000 off, I'm going to take the car. No, I already know from home I am taking this car. Unless I get in it and it drives funny or something's off, I've already shopped the market within 100 miles. I've already narrowed it down based on title history, accident history, service record. I've seen the original price of the car. I've verified there's no fake fees. I'm on my way. It's not a smoke thin car. I'm not going there looking for, oh, save me even more. We're already beating everybody. You're talking about come in, save me even more. Uneducated buyer. Okay? This is what causes headaches for you. You leave thinking, oh man, that dealership didn't want to sell a car. No, you didn't know what a great deal was. You just walked away from a great deal because psychologically you said to yourself, if they're not taking off more money, it has to be something wrong. Rather than understanding that's a 20% dealer, they want that car moved in 2 days. They're not going to sit there with $5,000, $7,000 in markup. They're doing volume. They're in the small markup business. Move these cars out of here. All right. Great question. Great question. All of this is in my digital book. Those of you, and you listen, y'all understand. You understand. K Camp, good to see you. Chuck DeGraw, good to see you. Never put anything down on the lease. I don't agree with that. You just need to know the risk. I'll give you an example. On a lease, there's 2 ways to lose your down payment. We shop all our leases with no money down. Here's the key. If you can find a lease, you get your offers, get your bids. If you can get your lease, best offer, no money down, it's in your budget, take the deal, no money down. I've never put more than like $1,200. I think on this truck, we put $1,270 down. That's the most of it. And it includes our first payment. So it included the first lease payment. You pay your lease payment at the beginning of the month. But here's the thing. Some of you are shopping for vehicles. You're shopping for Mercedes. You're shopping for 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 vehicles, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Range Rovers. You're shopping for vehicles that are expensive. And the key is you shop with no money down so you can understand what's the percentage of the best offer. What's the percentage of the best offer? Is it a 1% lease? I got all my offers. Is it a 1.2% lease? And for those of you who don't know, we haven't had a chance to talk about that yet. But when you hear people talk about, like you'll hear a lot of people when you see us post lease offers. Oh, look, this was the one I was looking for. This is the GV80, 2025 GV80 that our client got $8,500 off of it, and then they came back later and they lowered it another $1,000. End up getting $9,500 off. So any of you who have a 2025 GV80, I'm showing you a below market offer. You're like, Deshone, I got the GV80, man. They told me they wasn't discounting them. $8,500 is what believing that cost you. Now you might say, Deshone, I got $2,000 off. $6,500. In fact, our client actually got $9,500 off because this was a 873. And then do I have the other 873? Yep, that was their first offer. You can see in column E. We used our counter offer calculator. They came down at 840. So like I said, another $1,000. He got $9,500 off a 2025 brand new Genesis GV80. almost 10 grand off. Is that enough for you to say, whoa, all right, Deshone, let me get the $24 book? Because you're telling me I didn't get, I got a GV80. I didn't get almost 10,000 off of it. Okay. See, I got to talk to you like this because there's no other way for you. And still, we don't talk philosophical here. I show the numbers. So anyway, I forget how I got on that. I think we were talking, what were we talking about? Somebody had asked a question about putting money down on leases. So let's go. Once you understand the percentage, like let's go back to that deal. Let's go back to that lease deal on that GV80. So percentages is how we gauge value on a lease. That's a 1.3% lease. Now you can't you can't judge the percentages until you find the best dealer, because you need to get the biggest discount, and then you can judge the percentage. We don't know if a dealer's hiding money in the money factor, which is the interest rate, not giving you the rebates, all of this stuff that is unadvertised that you're like, wait, they just told me it was $700 a month. Okay. We know if there's any rebates they're hiding. Do we know? So we reveal this stuff through bids. We find the dealer, but then we look and say, all right, we divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. It gives us a percentage. Now, there's going to be various percentages of leases. The best offer on one vehicle is not going to be the best offer on another. You know, this is an Infinity. We can see here the best offer on this is a 1.1% lease. $61,000 Infinity, $680 a month. But we can see $889 from other dealers, $873 from other dealers. So now, after we get the percentages, let's just say this person right here is like, Deshone, I got a 1.1% lease, $680 a month. Jesus, that's your deal. But let's say they're like, you know what? I like to get my payment down to $599 though. I really want my payment under $600. That's what's comfortable for me. All right, now you can put your money down. But we need to gauge risk. If the vehicle's stolen and not recovered, you don't get your down payment back. So you have to go out, shop again, and make another deal. So you want to ask yourself, how many vehicles have I had stolen in my life? If your answer is none, then the chances of you having, it's a once in a lifetime event, would lose you your down payment. Now you might say, Deshone, man, 3 of my cars been stolen. That's a different level of risk. You probably don't want to put money down because you have a higher likelihood of your cars being stolen. And if they don't find them, you lose your down payment. So next thing that you lose down payment is car gets totaled. If you have an accident and the car is totaled, you don't get your down payment back. So now the second question is, what is the likelihood that this car is going to be totaled? Well, if you're driving a big SUV, you'd have to have probably a once in a lifetime accident to total the vehicle. If you're leasing a Honda Civic, almost any accident, if it's serious enough, will total the vehicle. That's a different level of risk. So that's how we assess. I don't want you feeling bad about, oh, I shot my office, I got a 1.2% lease, I got a 1.4% lease, I got a 1.3% lease. I don't want to put $3,000 down because it's an SUV. My chances of totaling it are very slim. And also, I've never had a car stolen. I put $3,500 down to put my payment. I put $5,000 down to put my payment where I want it to be. All you're doing is prepaying some of the lease to lower your payment. But the key is understanding. I mean, I've had clients who lease S-Class, $120,000 cars, $110,000 cars, GLSs, G-Wagons. They want to lower their payments, but they've already assessed this car is not going to get stolen and it's not going to get totaled. So that's the key. There's nothing wrong with putting money down on a lease. The key is assessing the risk. Now, also, what's in my book is before you put money down, we look at things like multiple security deposits. Because some of you are going to see, let me show Rosalie. Do I have Rosalie's deal in here? Rosalie leased her Infinity truck last year. And in my strategies, I teach you how to understand multiple security deposits. So multiple security deposits are when you let the manufacturer use money during the lease And in exchange for that, they lower the interest rate on the lease. So let's say, and this is not eligible. Every car is not eligible, and it doesn't make sense for every car. That's why it's a special strategy, advanced strategy. So if you have $5,000 and you say, okay, I could either put money down to lower my payment, or I could do multiple security deposits. Security deposit is usually an estimate of one lease payment. So if your lease payment is $540, one security deposit might be $550. And every security deposit, some people will let you do up to like 7 to 10. Every security deposit lowers the interest rate on the lease. So now that's a money return calculation. In other words, if I let you hold $5,700, what is the return I get on that? Well, you lower my payment $40 a month times 36 months. Okay, $40 a month. That's significant amount of money for me letting you hold this. Would I get more money in the market? Would I get more money? It's literally an investment question. That's why we're not discussing this with everyone. But some of you who have money in savings, 10 grand, 20 grand extra, it's just sitting there, and you're like, you can afford to be without it for 3 years. That's a situation where you let them hold it, but it only works if the interest rate is high on the lease. If you already got a great interest rate on the lease, you're already at a 1.1, 1.2. Sometimes it's not going to make sense, but you never know. It could be you're at a 1.1 because, again, I'm not going to get it too complex because most of you are not going to do multiple security deposits. But for those of you who are like, financially astute and you got extra disposable income, don't think there's anything that I have not covered. There's nothing. You're not going to say, oh, Deshone, well, I never hear you talk about one-pay leases, because most people are not going to be able to afford a one-pay lease. But it's in there. It's in my book. It's in my Cars from Home Shop with Deshone course. So, as I said, all of your situation is a struggle to you. It's easy for me, easy for us. It's nothing new for us. You're not going to wow us with your situation. Oh, I have a situation that you guys have never seen. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's only about 20, 30 different scenarios that you can be in, and we've covered all of them. So if you're like, Deshone, I need that blueprint. I don't want to be out here winging this process anymore, not knowing how to sell my leases and not knowing how to see if I have equity in the lease. We weren't able to talk about that today, but not knowing how to get dealers to bid, get banks to bid. We didn't talk about the bank bidding war. Get banks and credit unions to bid and then put the dealers against them and all of it. We haven't talked about that. But it's all in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It is as part of my welcome offer. You get yours it's normally $97. You get yours for $24. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click that link, or in the YouTube comments, the Facebook comments, you get yours for 75% off, but it's only for 2 hours. Once that timer hits 0, $97 is the normal price. And as you can see through all these testimonials and through all of this money we're saving, even at $97, you would still get a 20x, 100x return, because you can use this book over and over and over and over again for every car. So for those of you who are like, Deshone, I just want to start out with something free. You can also start out with my free cheat sheets. For those of you who would like to investigate Cars from Home done for you, if you qualify for that, new cars and leases only, and you have to have FICO scores over 680, you can book a call with our team. It's a free 10-minute call. See if this is something that works for you. And for those of you who are like, Deshone, can we shop together? Is there a way that I could work with you and actually learn and do this? You teach me to do this over and over and over again. We work together with every car. You can look at our Shop with Deshone, Cars from Home Shop with Deshone, where instead of the book reading, we have video checklists where you go down the checklist in video form. It's just like if we were on a phone call, where I give you do this first, then go to the next video. Do this first, then go to the next video. And then we have our private Facebook group, and we do coaching calls twice a month for 6 months to make sure you are mastering the process for the first 6 months, and then you know how to fish forever so that we're essentially buying cars forever. Every single car we're buying it together. All right. So whatever is right for you and your situation and your learning style, those are in the Cars from Home Toolkit, carsfromhometoolkit.com, or the bios. And we'll be back tomorrow, May 20th, for our Tuesday show, 12 noon to 1:30. Thank you, Dolan. Thank you to everybody who got questions in. And thank you to everybody who got your book. Please make sure you are sending me your success stories. Continue to write me those emails. Send the pictures of the cars when you get them. I love seeing those, and I never get tired of seeing them. So I'll see you on the show tomorrow. And God bless you. God bless you. Keep winning. Keep unlearning.